What's going on, you guys? Today we're gonna walk through the complete investment detail and breakdown of our fourth ever short-term rental or Airbnb property. And this one, I said the last one I did was probably the best investment we've ever done, or one of the best. This one is probably hands down the best investment we've ever done, just on a pure numbers basis. This place was in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. It was technically a 3-bedroom with a loft, but it can kind of act as a 5-bedroom because it has a guest house as well with a loft and an extra bedroom. So there's 3 bedrooms in the main house, and then the guest house, which is technically a detached accessory dwelling unit. What we thought was really special about this place is it had very unique feel to the house that no other property in the entire Smoky Mountains market had. It has all these weird shapes. It's like rounded edges around the house. Each room is shaped kind of funky. There's a massive game room with a built-in bar and I think it's like a 1,500 square foot rooftop patio with views of the mountains. So I'm gonna walk you guys through some of the things that we did, because this is our most heavy rehab project we had done to this point in time. And we actually partnered with Ben and Amy Wright. We met them in Nashville, Tennessee. Ben was a home builder and house flipper, GC, and he built the 2 homes across the street from Jill and I. So we started to just become friends with him and met Amy, and Ben and Amy expressed their interest in partnering on an Airbnb deal. So I thought it made sense. We'll bring some of the research and management expertise to the table and design and furnishings aspect, but I wanted to find a property that we could add a massive amount of value, do a pseudo Burr method, buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat, and then be able to pull out all that cash back out of the deal once we were done with the rehab. And Ben obviously had the expertise there. So we found this property, and it was not in shambles, but it was not in the best shape. So it definitely needed a lot of TLC. So we bought it at $499,000. Honestly, I don't know if the owners knew what they had at the time. The market hadn't really started skyrocketing yet. It actually immediately appraised while we were under contract for like $575. So we had an immediate $76,000 of equity built right into the deal, which is nuts. And it was more than our down payment was. So we basically, it's almost like a wash from the down payment, because we did 15% down, conventional investment loan, put $74,850 down. We got them to pay for a bit of our closing costs using the same techniques I talk about all the time that are in BNB Investor Academy. We ended up paying $4,535 in total closing costs and inspection fees and stuff like that. The actual rehab, I'll tell you the cost and I'll explain what we did. The rehab cost, we spent $103,099. I'm actually kind of surprised we did it for that amount. What we did is we converted the 2-car garage that was just like a really old dingy garage, and we framed it in, and we built an in-person immersive home theater with surround sound and a massive projector screen with theater seats, the whole bit. And it just creates this amazing moody environment for people to watch movies, shows, or sporting events. And it's just a killer amenity to have in a vacation market, and helps us make a lot more money as we market on Airbnb. Some other things that we did. There was an old shed. We converted that into a little spa. We had an infrared sauna put in, and then we also cut out a portion of the walls and added windows so you can have mountain views while sitting in the sauna. We had a hot tub there that we built like a leveled surface and hung some string lights over it, again looking over the mountain views. There was an old deck that was falling over. No way it was to code, so we actually just deleted much of that deck and just kept a little porch as a portion of it that was on the ground. And then we replaced a lot of the flooring. So it was a lot of tile and then old carpet in like the game room, for example. We replaced all of that with luxury vinyl plank, and we repainted the entire house and then replaced standard stuff, cosmetic. Replaced a lot of the light fixtures, the mirrors, put a lot of quote unquote blood, sweat, and tears into the design portion. So that totaled just shy of, or right about $103,000. And then other setup costs related to the properties, paying for fuel and some other GC work outside of the rehab was $7,581. And then the actual furnishing and design costs. My wife and I designed this one ourselves. We use Summer-led designs now, highly recommend them. But the total furnishing cost was $67,758. I know you guys think, wow, that sounds like a lot of money. And yes, it is. But for the size of this property, I think it totals 3,500 or 4,000 square foot-ish with the accessory dwelling unit and the sauna area. not a bad amount of money spent for what we put in this place for amenities. So, total money invested, $257,824. Ben and Amy and Jill and I split this right down the middle, 50-50. And this property just far exceeded our expectations for daily rate. We, like on a conservative forecast, we thought we could do, let me see what I had in here. We thought we could do 130,000 or so in annual revenue. I knew the upside was a bit higher than that, but the first 2 years we had it did well over 200K in revenue, which is nuts. And it cash flowed 6 figures each of the first 2 years that we've had it, even after we refinanced and increased the mortgage by a couple $1,000s, still cash flowed over 6 figures in a single year, back to back. So that's pretty nuts, and that's not even the craziest part of this deal. So although we're cash flowing 6 figures, the whole goal of this property and the reason why we spent so much money on the rehab is so we could later do a cash out refinance based on the after repair value, and also the market had gone up. I'll be the first one to tell you guys that we took advantage of the market going up and the interest rates were still low. It was about 12 months after buying this property, and we did a cash out refi, and it appraised for $1.2 million. Now, a large part of that is because we added square footage in the garage, converting it to a theater room. And then we fixed up a lot of the other property. But $1.2 million, this is nuts. And by doing an 80%, I think it was around 80% loan to value ratio, we were able to pull out over $430,000, I believe the total amount was, which is insane. So remember, we invested a total of $257,824, and we pulled out almost 2 times that money in tax-free money. And then we split that 50-50, and that property was still cash flowing 6 figures a year. And now we each had over 200K to go reinvest into other real estate projects, which we ended up doing. So that's why I think this is the best deal ever. Several 100% ROI just in the matter of 2 years. Honestly, crazy. I think if you mix the Burr method, again, that's buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat, it's the best way to build massive equity in real estate and rinse and repeat the same capital without paying taxes on it over and over and over again. If you guys aren't familiar with the Burr book, David Green, who's the current host of the Bigger Pockets podcast, highly recommend it. That's how he built his a massive wealth and cash flow over the past decade or so. Great book. But if you can pair the Burr method with Airbnb and short-term rentals, that's where you can not only get a property that you add a ton of equity to, but you can take a property that was originally, we bought at 500K, and turn it into something that would be a $1.2 million property worth of cash flow and revenue, right? So can't recommend short-term rentals enough. I've been doing a lot of these breakdowns lately. Hopefully you guys appreciate them. If you want to learn how to do this breakdown, of the sheet I'm looking at is the actual investment analysis and how to find these properties, underwrite them, make sure they're solid deals, and then design, rehab, and furnish them in a way to become a top performing property and learn how to price them and automate the management. All of that is in BNB Investor Academy. I'll drop a link to it in the description below. We've taught over 1,000 people how to do this. It's just a simple process, and if you follow everything and do things the right way, it really minimizes your risk of failure in this space. And there's so much upside with short-term rentals. So if you guys appreciated this video, if you don't mind, hit the like button, subscribe if you are not already subscribed to the channel, and I hope to see y'all again sometime soon.